Okay, welcome everybody. Hope everyone had a wonderful holiday weekend. I definitely enjoyed some time in the backyard, without a doubt. We had some weather here that was just off the charts. It was so nice. Did get to see went to the movie theater. Got to see the Top Gun movie, and yeah, it was good. I harkens back, old school classic 1980s summer blockbuster, highly entertaining film. They did a great job. So I give it my kudos. Anyway, let's get into it. Got a lot we've got to go over on the program today. Let's start off with this Wall Street Journal. Americans have had it with inflation. There's some signs now. We're starting to see people actually dipping in to savings to cover some of the added expense. What's going on? Again, I would encourage people, if you're in that position, and many people are. Okay, it is what it is. You might want to look to pick up maybe some extra hours, or maybe a side gig, side hustle, side job. Work, a couple extra nights a week. I tell the story all the time. People fail to realize when we started Markowski Investments. I put everything back into the business. I mean, everything. I mean, every dime that we were making. I didn't live on any of the money at all. What I did was, on nights and weekends, I wait tables and bartend. Yeah. I didn't care. I said, you know what? I want to build this thing up. I'm going to do what needs to be done. And, sometimes you might have to do that. Again, little side hustle, side gig here to help cover that stuff. You really don't want to start dipping into your savings, even though it's, quite frankly, it's absurd right now where we are. This past weekend, it popped in my head, and again, I'm trying here on the program not to be too overtly political. And yeah, I know I delve into it, but I went back and I read the Politico article that was done back in 2020 about Joe Biden. And in that Politico article, they talk about, the Barack Obama, the famous Barack Obama quote, "Never underestimate Joe's ability to blank things up." To blank things up. And this weekend, again, if you're watching this and you're paying attention and you have any knowledge whatsoever, just how the world works, basic economics, Econ 101. I mean, this is stuff that I took back in high school. It was an elective, a social studies elective. And he doesn't get it. He doesn't understand it. He had the U.S. energy producers come out and roast him. U.S. Oil and Gas Association went after Biden after he tweeted on Saturday that companies running gas stations should simply bring down the price you are charging at the pump. Yeah, they shot back at Biden. Please make sure the White House intern who posted this tweet registers for Econ 101 for the fall semester. Running gas stations. And people don't have any idea what is actually involved and the type of money that gas stations actually make. The people own them. Only about 5% of gas stations in the United States, 5%. Are actually owned by the oil companies. Rest independently owned. And if you go back, you take a look, the amount of gas stations in the United States has dropped considerably since the 1990s. Why? It's a low margin business. And many gas stations right now are actually hurting to a greater degree in the sense that people are not going and buying gas as much, and they're holding back because they sell cigarettes and they sell lotto tickets and they sell sugar-free Red Bull. Again, I admit, I stop off to get gas and I'm stuck in traffic, wherever it may be. I got to run inside. I got to get myself sugar-free Red Bull to keep me going through the trip. It's where they make their money. the price of gas goes up. Their margins don't change. And again, the administration going after gas stations. Think about the costs that are involved in running a gas, not to mention in my neck of the woods. My neck of the woods, gas stations in my community here, and quite frankly, I don't even know. I think it might be all of Suffolk County. You can't pump your own gas. You're not allowed. You're not allowed to pump your own gas, meaning the gas stations have to keep people on the payroll to pump that gas for you. Jersey, the entire state. Anyway, it'd be funny if Biden comes out, oh, we're going to give relief. And then they would never do that because he put all the gas stations, get people pumping gas, put them out of a job. Story about recession. If the U.S. is in a recession, it's a very strange one. Yeah, it's a Wall Street Journal watchdog on Wall Street echo chamber piece because we said the same thing. You know how they used to talk about jobless recoveries? They say, oh, it's a jobless recovery. The media usually picks up on that when there is a Republican in the White House. They call it a jobless recovery. Is this going to be the opposite? Are we going to have a jobful recession? I don't know. What I do know that there is still a lot of job openings all over the country. The numbers are, I mean, if you want to get a job, you can still get a job. Are companies starting to, pare back? Yeah. Are you going to see layoffs at certain companies? Yeah. But still, if you have, 2 job openings for every person looking for work, again, will the NBER even call a recession based upon that? The lead editorial today in the Wall Street Journal, again, going after nobody messes with Joe Biden. Bidenomics 101. I know we just discussed it, but you know what? I want to delve in this a little bit because, again, you also had Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos, the guy who owns Washington Post. Guy's been a long time donkey. Gives to donkeys all the time, coming out and going after the president. Again, do this again. My message to the companies running gas stations and setting prices at the pump is simple. This is a time of war and global peril. Bring down the price you're charging at the pump to reflect the cost you're paying for the product and do it now. Now, they made the point that they said if Donald Trump had done something like that, they would say that he was being an authoritarian. They're right. It's embarrassing. Embarrassing for the leader of the free world to sound like he's channeling Hugo Chavez. This is true. A Chinese state media flack praised Mr. Biden's tweet. Now, U.S. president finally realized that capitalism is all about exploitation. He didn't believe this before. Or maybe he did and nobody wanted to believe it. This is Chinese state media giving kudos to Biden for his statement. You'd think that the president's Ivy League educated economic advisors would have informed him that large refiners own fewer than 5% of all gas stations in America. More than 60% are operated by an individual or family that owns a single store, and the rest are independently owned chains or grocery stores that sell fuel. Distribution and marketing make up 5% of the price of gasoline. About 22 cents a gallon. That covers the cost. That 22 cents covers the cost of freight, labor, utilities, real estate, and credit card fees. Most gas stations make a few cents a gallon in profit. A few cents a gallon. They said the same thing. I said more than a quarter gas stations have closed since the 1990s because they couldn't make the economics work. Jeff Bezos called the president's weekend tweet either straight ahead misdirection or a deep misunderstanding of basic market dynamics. They aren't mutually exclusive. Then you had National Security Council spokesman John Kirby on Fox News Sunday. Anybody that knows President Biden knows he's plain spoken, and he tells exactly what he's thinking in terms that everybody can understand. Okay, that might be true there, Kirby, but if the guy's an economic ignoramus and he's plain spoken in his bullshit, what the hell difference does it make? It's still bullshit. You had Brian Dees, White House director of the National Economic Council, CNN interview, basically saying that guess what? This is all about the future of the liberal world order. Wait, who's did this? There was, I think they were doing a press conference, and I think it was a New York Times reporter. And they had questions. The military analyst, the director of national intelligence, said that this could be a very long war, measured in years. Is it sustainable? What do you say to those families who say, listen, we can't afford to pay $4.85 a gallon for months, if not years? This is just not sustainable. Well, what you heard from the president today was a clear articulation of the stakes. This is about the future of the liberal world order, and we have to stand firm. But at the same time, what I'd like to say that family to Americans across the country is you have a president administration that's going to do everything in its power to blunt those price increases and bring those prices down. Well, that's a lie. That's a lie. You canceled pipelines. You're not opening up various different leases. You're making it difficult. You've made it perfectly clear that you want to put all of these fossil fuel companies out of business. So that's just not true. Yet, not to mention the fact, and I've mentioned this before on the program, that let's be honest here, Putin's kicking our ass right now. He's kicking our ass. He's kicking Europe's ass. All those fools at the G7. Yeah, we're getting our ass kicked. Well, you want me to blow smoke up your buttocks? You think I'm Mary Poppins? Make a spoonful of sugar to make the medicine go down? No. They're winning. They're taking over more territory. Now you're starting to get more stories about what it's actually like on the front lines. They took over the businesses that we left behind. They're making more money now than they did before the sanctions. Winning, right? Winning. It was a story about Germany. Here it is. Top German trade union head warns entire industries may collapse. Entire industries may collapse due to their energy crisis. Oh, again, one of the greatest leaders. Media told you time and time again. Oh, wow, true leader. When Trump was president, she was a true leader of the free world. She was the one that we needed to look to. Angela Merkel. You wrecked your country. I did that bit. She was interviewed not too long ago, and she has no regrets. She's, oh, yeah, when I'm working for diplomacy, I can't have any regrets. You don't have any regrets. I don't know if you saw this. Germany announced today, the first time in 30 years, 30 years, that they're running a trade deficit. Germany. Again, this is a country, obviously, doesn't spend, basically next to nothing on their military. We protect them. Makes it great for their country, without a doubt. They're actually running a trade deficit right now. First time in 30 years. Russia knows they could flip a switch. Flip a switch and Germany out of business. That's the reality. That's the reality. You're trying to tell me that we're winning at this point in time? You think a few more, rocket launchers and missile batteries, medium range missile batteries, you think that that's going to turn the tide of this? I'm sorry. I don't. I know. We all, Zelensky, and we wanted to do well, and all this stuff. And Mitt Romney had a piece today in the Atlantic talking about problems with our country and what true leadership looks like. And he's back and forth being Mr. White toast vanilla Mitt Romney like he normally is, and praising Zelensky for his, standing up to Putin. Okay. I think it's high time that Zelensky sit down with Putin and figure this the hell out. Figure this the hell out. Yeah, I'll tell you something. Putin definitely watched Godfather 1 and 2 several times. He watched it several times, without a doubt. Calculated everything that it is. And, you think of that line, it's not personal, just business. That's what it is for him. This is business. Oh, he's not going to, listen, he gets his way, start shipping oil and gas, all will be forgotten because, again, it's business for him. Anyway, Biden repeats the false claim that the U.S. has the lowest inflation in the entire world. Again, no one really, calls him out on any of this stuff. But again, that's the world we're living in right now. Let's get into some business stories. They talk about some of the cutbacks that companies are making based upon the economic situation that they're in. Amazon, one of them, they overdid it. They overdid it when it came to expansion. They now have 16 different warehouses that they're either going to cancel the warehouse, or they are going to sublet it, or they're going to push off the actual construction. They're able to handle it. They are. And they've actually already warned about this. They'll be able to take a hit. I wish I had a major Amazon warehouse and fulfillment center that just went up not far from where I live. And that one is not getting shut down. They're going to be utilizing that. What I found interesting is you should talk about the overall turnover that Amazon has when it comes to their factory workers. It's extraordinary. It really is. The type of turnover that they get. And I mentioned last week this focus that they're having on automation and robots and the types of things that they're doing inside these warehouses to actually deal with that and lower their costs. Banks out there getting burned by risky debt. This is leveraged buyouts. When things, again, word leverage. When things are going your way, leverage is just fine. When things are not going your way, well, we're talking billions of dollars in losses in some of these loans that these banks weren't able to get off their balance sheet. Now, again, each and every one of them passed every stress test that they have. They're going to be fine, but they're going to take a hit on this. This is amazing to me. You need to go back and think. What was the first car? Well, let me say, think about it. Your first car that you either bought or you leased. What was a car payment on that? What was a car payment? Go back and think about it for a bit. The average car payment has hit a record $712 a month. This is as new and used car prices continue to climb. No doubt about it. They continue to climb. Again, there's certain tax considerations based upon my business. Oh, you lease cars? Yeah. If you understand owning a business and the write-offs, you understand. But anyway, neither here nor there. I'm buying these at the other side of the lease. The same car. If I wanted to lease the same exact car, I got one coming up in December. Same exact car. Obviously, it's a newer model. Not same exact, but basically the same thing. No new body design. Maybe some little upgrades. Not even upgrades, just updates. It's almost $200 more a month? Something. Are you kidding me? Again, that's insane. So again, I'm just going to going to buy the thing out and let my accountant work it out in the end. Again, markets today getting hammered. I was trying to guess why, recession fears, whatever it may be. And I don't know. I just think that, right now, people are looking for something positive, a little bit of direction. And, you're not getting much out of the current administration. I think people are kind of hoping that maybe business is going to step up and maybe earnings will be a little bit better and guidance will be a little bit better. And then, you could have a rip your face off rally at that point in time. But, until we get some direction, obviously got the jobs number coming out on Friday. You're going to continue to see volatility moving forward. It's actually, ask this question, and I'm honest, Chris, how is your portfolio? All the portfolios, we got different portfolios for different clients. We'll just talk about mine. My portfolio is down a little under 20% since the beginning of this year. Little under 20%. Am I worried? Did I make any shift? Did I make any changes in what I was doing? No, not really. Now I've obviously added. I've added some, but based upon timing, some at low levels, some at higher levels. But again, I'm acquiring assets. I'm buying companies that I feel are going to be doing well 5, 10, 20 years down the road. There's actually some good news coming out, hopefully out of Washington. They got this new Secure Act that's coming through, which would push back the required minimum distribution dates for people. So you wouldn't have to do it at such an early date. Okay. Story short sellers are pulling back on their bets against the stock market. I don't know. Maybe they put them, this was a headline today. Maybe they put them back on today. And that's why we're seeing the market drift to the downside. Again, try not to focus so much on the indices. You're going to be owning individual companies or certain ETFs, based upon where you are, certain ETFs that cover certain sectors of the market. Mark Zuckerberg warning Facebook employees to brace for layoffs. And he basically was just, kind of kicked him, said, listen, there's people around this office that probably shouldn't be here. Again, I got to appreciate, and I'm not a big Zuckerberg fan. I'm not overall a big social media fan, as you all know. Yes. Do I have a social media account? Yep. Do I post my money minutes? Do I post my podcast? Yep. But I use it for specific things. Do I post our annual family photos? Yep, I do. Proud dad moments from time to time? Yep, I do. But do I get into debates? Do I say nasty things? No, that's not what it's there for. But anyway, Zuckerberg diving into this whole metaverse stuff. I don't get it. I don't get it. I can't seem to get my arms around wanting to put on this headset and go on vacation and it not be real. Again, it's dystopian to me, not my thing. But anyway, Zuckerberg's basically doing what companies do when you hit slowdowns. And he's going to go through it. He's going to say, hey, listen, where do we need to make cuts? Facebook is, in essence, a value company now, based upon where the stock is and what it's come down to. But they're not the only ones. A lot of companies out there, layoff announcements. And again, you expected some of this stuff. Peloton, Better, Blend, Robinhood, Netflix. We've talked about some of these. But even still, even though that they're, Zuck's going to be laying people off, he said that his pace of hiring engineers has dropped. They're going to be doing 6,000 this year rather than 10 software engineers. Now, again, engineering what? Crap in the metaverse? I don't know. This is kind of an obscure story out of Holland. Dutch farmers doing massive protests. Okay, we hear it time and time again. Global food crisis. There's a global food crisis. This is going to be terrible. Well, again, liberalism is a mental disorder. It's a Michael Savage line. Liberalism is a mental disorder. It is cutting your nose off to spite your face. It is shooting yourself in your own foot. It's downright suicidal, let's be honest. So you got all these problems, Putin or Ukraine, and the Dutch government wants to shut down farms. Because these farms have too much, it's just not CO2, it's nitrogen waste. That's right. And this plan that they put forward, this green crap, could see up to a 30% reduction in livestock farming and farms, basically putting these farms out of business. And again, farmers are ticked off. They're blocking highways into Germany. They're dumping manure at government offices. But the government, nope, we're going to stay green. We're going to do this. We can't have it. We're going to have to shut down farms. In the same way, this is the same crap with Obama with coal and Biden with all fossil fuels. I do declare, I do decree. We got a food shortage. You think it's a good time to, start shutting down farms? Closing up farms? It's a good idea. Again, maybe we need to rethink all of the bullshit ethanol that we continue to make here in this country and put in the cars. Just saying. You can't figure out a way. Can't figure out a way to turn all those cornfields into wheat. Just saying. Can't figure that out? You're telling me it's not possible. Okay, whatever. Anyway, I went to a barbecue last night. Again, I'm up bright and early, so I'm like first one out. But it was a friend of mine. Again, school night. Got to be back home and be in bed. But again, it's the conversation. Obviously, a lot of my friends and people there that I had met and surrounding what had just taken place in Highland Park. You know what I found out today? Highland Park was a place where a lot of those 80s movies actually took place. I think they call it something else, Shermer or something like that in the movies. But that's where they filmed Ferris Bueller's Day Off in that neighborhood. You see things like this, and again, it's not possible to get your arms around that, where you try to get into the head of somebody that's actually capable of shooting children. I can't. We've gone off. We've talked about this at great length here on the programs, the issues that we have with society, the issues that we have in not identifying troubled kids at a young age. You take a look at this character and central casting horror movie, for crying out loud. Pretty much. And at what point in time I gotta start, grabbing these kids and just, shaking them a little bit. I'm sorry. What the hell are you doing? What exactly are you doing? Now, like I said, I'm on the road, restaurants here and there. And I get a waitress or a waiter, and they got tattoos on their neck, on their face, all of these. And I'm like, what would make you think that that's a good idea? I mean, I get it. You're Post Malone and you're already rich. You can do whatever the hell you want. But you do realize you just cut yourself out of a million different jobs or career opportunities because you decide to put a tattoo on your face or on your neck somewhere. Come on. And again, I know I'm getting off on a bit of a side rant here, but at some point in time, we have to recognize, we have to say, you know what? This is unacceptable. We've made everything acceptable. And you take a look at again, social media, online posting, the violence that exists. Like, well, you had violence when you were a kid. My God, we were playing Lone Ranger and Tonto, for crying out loud. There's no video games that we had where it was you're actually simulating killing people. You were supposed to be the good guy going after the bad guys. Yeah, I have my ColecoVision. I'm playing, Zaxxon. Yeah, it's a space game, and I'm shooting at the bad guys in space. Really? Compare that to the stuff that we see today? I don't have the answers, people. I don't. But I don't know how many of you are in the same camp, same boat that I am, is that you almost feel, I almost feel like a foreigner. I feel almost at some points in time I watch the news and I see things going on, I feel like a stranger in a strange land. I don't recognize, I mean, people feel that way. You don't recognize your country anymore. Well, saying this right now on 4th of July, I would say such a thing. Sorry, it's unrecognizable to me. It is. How many mass shootings we had this year? A couple cops shot. Philadelphia. The amount of shootings that took place in New York City this past weekend. The amount of shootings that took place in Chicago. And I'm being honest, people. I'm sorry. I know I'm going to get a lot of the lefties get upset. I want more people I want more good guys with guns. I want more good guys with guns. I don't have, let me fly a carry permit. I don't have one here. It's not something that it's easy to get. And I freely admit, I'm considering just screw it. I'm doing it anyway. Now, granted, I don't think anybody with a concealed carry yesterday, what, this person did was up on top of a roof, shooting down. There's really not much anybody could have done. But I don't know. But again, sometimes stranger in a strange land. Oh, here's that article I mentioned earlier in the Atlantic. America's in denial. Mitt Romney, too many Americans are dismissing threats that can prove cataclysmic. And he's playing super politician. He goes after Trump and how what a terrible candidate he would be, and talks about all the problems. And again, he goes into global warming, and we got people watering their lawns and their golf courses. And I got a sinking suspicion Mitt Romney at his properties, he's probably watering his lawns too. It's much deeper than that. But again, I don't know if this is his attempt, because it's in the Atlantic, for somebody to come out and say, well, maybe we should pick Mitt again. Wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. Anyway, have a great day, buddy. WatchDogOnWallStreet.com, WatchDogOnWallStreet.com. We'll see you.